After years of unexplained sightings and no real answers, these people decided to take matters into their own hands. They recorded strange figures, reported extraterrestrial encounters to the police.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and they're very large. They look like aliens to us.
Some even shot the mysterious crafts hovering in the air. So stay tuned, because these alien confrontations took a turn no one was prepared for.
What is that?
It's a V. It's got a V.
In early 2020, Nebraska and parts of Colorado became the center of a strange aerial mystery. Large drones, some with wingspans up to 6 feet, were spotted hovering over farms, back roads, and even vehicles. One resident recalled a drone sitting motionless above them, as if observing their every move. At first, people assumed someone was searching for something, but no one ever claimed responsibility. The sightings became so frequent that law enforcement and federal agencies stepped in, yet no one could identify who was behind them. Some believe they were part of an advanced survey operation, and with the technology advancing every day, there's no wonder in believing it. Jaipur Mystery. Last year, a man in India saw something he couldn't explain. As he looked up, he noticed strange lights coming out of the clouds, glowing in a way that seemed unnatural. The lights seemed to form a shape, almost like a portal opening in the sky, as if something was hidden from view. Just as quickly as it started, everything returned to normal. No one could understand what happened that night, but the man couldn't believe that he'd witnessed something extraordinary. Las Vegas aliens.
I'm Brian Loftus. A family says something crashed into their backyard, prompting them to call 911, saying they saw creatures walking around.
It all began with a 911 call when a Las Vegas family complained about a UFO crash in close vicinity. They said they saw towering creatures, around 8 to 10 feet tall, with huge eyes staring at them.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
The police arrived, searched the area, and even wore body cameras, but they found nothing unusual. Soon after the investigation was closed, one of the family members came forward and shared the unbelievable footage his hidden camera had captured. It showed a massive humanoid figure sitting at the isolated corner of their backyard. However, when the footage was shared to the authorities, they dismissed it, saying they will not reopen the case, which made the people to believe it is an actual evidence that government is trying to hide. California UFO. A man in Palmdale, California, spotted something strange above him. A glowing blue light was pouring out of an odd object that looked just like a UFO. It moved silently across the sky, heading toward the woods nearby. Curious, the man followed it for a short distance. But the deeper it went into the forest, the stronger his feeling grew that something wasn't right. He stopped, deciding not to risk it. He never found out what it was, but something about it didn't feel meant for humans.
What is that?
Pentagon footage. A man in Dallas, Texas saw something in the sky that made him stop in his tracks. The object had small wing-like shapes and a strange glowing energy swirling at its center. It didn't look like any drone or aircraft, more like something from outer space. The way it hovered made it feel like it was observing our world, not just passing by. It stayed in place for a while, spinning gently, then vanished without a trace. The sky went quiet again, but he knew something wasn't right. Police cited UFO.
Stood there and watched it as what it was doing, and it was just coming down out of the sky real slow. And no noise, just quiet, and I couldn't see no wings or nothing, just floating right through the midair up there.
Melbourne Knoll, a part-time truck driver, spotted a bright light in the northeastern sky over Highland, Illinois. It moved slowly, silently, with no wings, just floating. He reported it to the police. Soon after, officers in towns like Lebanon, Shiloh, and O'Fallon also saw it.
I honestly don't know what it was that I saw, other than I know it wasn't a plane or a helicopter or a blimp.
One officer described it as a massive triangle the size of a football field, glowing with 3 bright lights. Another tried to follow it, but said it vanished silently behind trees, reappearing miles away in seconds. In total, 6 people, including 5 officers, witnessed the same thing. A giant, silent, triangular object moved across southern Illinois skies that night. What it was, no one could say. Forest encounter. A hiker was returning from a trail when he suddenly noticed something unusual near the woods. Out of curiosity, he ventured closer, and what he saw left him shocked. There, in front of him, was a UFO and 3 aliens. They had noticed him too. The area was strangely blocked off with metallic wires for an unknown reason. The man stood still for a moment, observing the scene, before deciding to leave as quickly as possible. What he witnessed that day remains a mystery, but it's an encounter he will never forget. Roadside encounter. A tourist was driving on the highway toward New York when something totally unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, a giant UFO appeared and zipped past him at full speed, just above the road, not in the sky. The whole thing left him stunned, because who expects a UFO to travel like a regular vehicle? It didn't harm him, and thankfully, he continued his journey safely. But what he saw that day wasn't normal. It wasn't a dream either. That close encounter burned itself into his memory, and let's just say, cruise control hasn't felt the same since. Iraq mystery. In a small village in Iraq, a man spotted something very strange in the sky. At first, it looked like a bird, but as it came closer, he realized it wasn't anything from this world. It didn't have wings like normal birds, and its shape was all wrong. He had never seen anything like it before. The unknown thing was moving slowly, almost like it was watching everything around it. People nearby also noticed it, but no one could explain what they were seeing. After a few moments, the strange object simply vanished into thin air. To this day, no one knows what it really was, but it hasn't been forgotten. Camper encounter. A man was camping in the woods and getting ready to sleep for the night. Everything felt calm and peaceful until something unexpected happened. He saw a strange blue light in the sky. At first, he thought it might be a star or a plane, but it didn't look like anything normal. It was a UFO, slowly moving above the deep woods. The light was quiet, but strong, and it felt like the object was watching everything around it. Feeling scared, the man quickly packed up all his stuff and left the area. He never went back to those woods again. Green UFO. In a small village in the Philippines, a man was walking near the woods when he saw something floating above the trees. It was a green object, blending in with the forest, as if it was trying to hide. The shape was strange, not like any aircraft he knew. It hovered quietly, with soft lights coming out from its body. The way it moved made it clear. It was watching the area below. The man was shocked, unsure what to do. After a few seconds, it disappeared into the sky. He hurried back home, confused and scared. That evening, one thought kept bothering him. Was something hiding right above us all this time? Secret in mountain. A tourist was exploring the mountains in China and had gone quite far, reaching a place where usually no one visits. He was happy, enjoying the peace and beauty around him. But then, something strange happened. From the distant mountains, bright lights suddenly shot up into the sky. It looked like some kind of signal being sent out. The lights were not normal. They were too strong and went straight up. It felt like something unusual was happening there, or maybe some otherworldly beings were arriving. He had no idea. What started as a fun trip quickly turned into a mystery. Area 51. A man was traveling near Area 51 when he noticed something strange in the sky. Floating above the quiet desert was a huge UFO. It wasn't shaped like any aircraft he had seen before. The object didn't move fast. It stayed in the same place for a while, almost as if watching the land below. The man kept looking at it, unsure if anyone else was seeing what he saw. Stories about Area 51 being linked to aliens suddenly felt real. Whatever that was, it raised more mystery about what's really hidden there. Pilot reporting UFO sighting.
1 o'clock, about 1,000 feet high, zipping towards us and then back out towards the ocean, and red in color, moving at extreme speeds. I don't even know how to describe.
Pilots cruising over Oregon skies suddenly found themselves witnessing something unexplainable. Bright, colorful lights appeared out of nowhere, moving at impossible speeds. One pilot reached out to air traffic control only to hear that others had reported the same thing. The lights twisted and turned, some shooting upward as high as 50,000 feet. The FAA confirmed the reports and called the lights satellites, but they did ask the pilots to avoid the route where they had the sightings, which makes it all look more sinister. Hidden in clouds. A passenger was enjoying the peaceful view outside the window during his trip. Everything looked normal. Clear skies, calm clouds. But he had no idea that he was about to see something very strange. As he stared outside, something unusual caught his eye in the clouds. It looked like a hidden spacecraft, not from this world. The shape was odd, and it seemed like the object was hiding inside the clouds. For a moment, it felt like a scene from a sci-fi movie. The passenger kept looking, but the object slowly faded away. One thing was clear. He had seen something unbelievable. Stuck objects. A group of friends in Portugal went into the snowy woods for a little adventure. But even before going deep, they saw something strange. In the cold air, a small flying spaceship was floating in one place. Under it was an egg-shaped object that had come out from the ship. Both were just hanging a little above the ground, like stuck in the air. The group stood still, shocked by what they were seeing. One friend, curious but scared, slowly walked closer to take a better look. Nobody knew what it was. Moments later, they all decided it was better to leave quietly. Road trip encounter. Road trip turned into a real-life sci-fi scene. A group of friends was enjoying a road trip in Mexico. They stopped in the middle of the road to take photos and record some fun videos. But during all this excitement, they captured something they didn't expect. Far away near the mountains, a strange flying object slowly came down and landed. It didn't look like a plane or a helicopter. It was a UFO for sure. When they watched the video later, everyone was shocked. The shape, the way it moved, everything felt unreal. They didn't stay long after that. Fun turned into fear, and they quickly returned home. Mysterious encounter. Not every flight goes as planned. A helicopter pilot was flying a usual route when he noticed something strange in the sky. A colorful flying object with an odd shape appeared out of nowhere and passed close to his helicopter. It didn't look like anything man-made. The object had no wings, no sound, yet it was flying smoothly. The pilot felt nervous, as if someone or something was controlling it. He couldn't explain what he saw, but the way it moved and stayed so close left him shocked. The skies hold secrets we still don't fully understand, and this pilot just flew right past one. Sighting in 1945?
He was 9 years old back in 1945 when he says he and his friend witnessed something they'd never forget.
They didn't crawl, they walked. Just like us. In 1945, near San Antonio, New Mexico, a 9-year-old boy named Jose Padilla saw something no one would believe. Just weeks after the first nuclear bomb test, Jose and a friend witnessed a strange, avocado-shaped object crash into the land. It wasn't just the UFO that shocked them. It was what stepped out of it. Small beings moved around the wreck, walking like humans.
3 little, I would say, kids got up of it. They walk like us, but they look like a fire ant.
Jose stayed quiet for decades, but recently shared everything in an interview. And now, the U.S. Department of Defense is finally looking into it. Because when kids see aliens and the government stays silent, you gotta wonder who's really watching whom.
They walk like us, but they look like a fire ant standing up.
Non-human biologics.
Has any of the activity been aggressive, hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured.
In a recent House Oversight Committee hearing, David Grush, a former military intelligence officer turned whistleblower, revealed shocking information about UFOs. Grush stated that during his 14 years of service, he interviewed government officials who had direct knowledge of aircraft with non-human origins. He further claimed that biologics were recovered from some of these craft. This revelation adds to the growing tension surrounding the investigation into UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. Grush's testimony, along with that of 2 former fighter pilots, keeps raising questions about the possibility of alien life and whether the government is hiding the truth. One thing is clear: the truth may be closer than we think.
You believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier. Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Glowing orbs.
Highway Patrol, what's your emergency? You said there's lights in the sky?
Yeah, there's 4 lights. They're moving real slow.
A call to Highway Patrol was made when a man driving on a Los Angeles highway spotted mysterious orbs. Not 1 or 2, but 4 glowing spheres made him pick up his phone. While describing them to the police, he could be heard saying that they were moving quite slowly and didn't make any sound. Unfortunately, signal distortion caused the call to end, and nothing further could be known. And even if it had, people believe the government would never let it come out to the public. West Michigan UFO sighting. In March 1994, residents of West Michigan reported seeing multiple unidentified flying objects over Lake Michigan.
The more I looked at it, I'm seeing 4 lights. They're like the size of the full moon.
These objects appeared as flickering lights in colors like blue, red, white, and green, and were described as cylindrical or circular in shape. The sightings were so notable that they were even observed on radar by the National Weather Service at Muskegon County Airport. The incident caught the attention of national security officials as more than 300 people reported seeing similar objects in the sky. The Mutual UFO Network, a private organization, also investigated the matter and called these sightings a solid proof of extraterrestrial existence in our world. ET lights. This 15-year-old video has resurfaced on the internet, with everyone still buzzing over the actual source of these lights. In 2010, residents of northern Norway recorded and reported a strange, moving ring of light appearing in the sky. The sighting made headlines for some time until authorities dismissed it, claiming it was just rocket fuel. However, the video has regained attention online for 2 key reasons. First, how can rocket fuel spin in midair and even propagate waves? Second, if a rocket was responsible for this phenomenon, why hasn't any other rocket ever produced a similar effect? I believe it's just another day of authorities gaslighting the public. But what's your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Experts' opinion.
Started to pour in. As it became closer and closer to our position, it stopped and hovered right over the coastline. There's no propulsion systems, no lights, no audible sounds, and it just hovered there.
Back in the late 90s, former officers stationed at Vandenberg Air Force Base witnessed something that left them stunned. They described a strange phenomenon. A massive red square object around the size of a football field hovered above the base. The object was so large that it caught everyone by surprise. Within moments, alarms started going off, triggering panic among the personnel. The event lasted only about 30 to 45 seconds, but it left no one knowing what had just occurred. Some officers were too shocked to react, while others were left wondering if they had just seen something from another world. It's a sight that still haunts them to this day. Aliens on Moon?
We were smart enough to not say, Houston, there's a light out there that's following us. So technically, it becomes an unidentified flying object.
During the Apollo 11 mission, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin witnessed something extraordinary on the lunar surface. While exploring, Neil noticed strange lights in the sky, and on a private channel, he reported something watching them from a crater. Later, they discovered unusual features resembling satellite dishes.
Got the dish itself, the crater shape, it's got a long spike that appears to come out of the middle, all sorts of stuff that looks exactly like a satellite dish on Earth looks.
And other structures that seemed out of place. Some even speculate about a possible alien base on the moon. What these astronauts encountered remains a mystery, leaving many to wonder why NASA stopped going back after Apollo 17. The truth about what they saw might still be out there, hidden in the shadows of space. Foreign object.
By officials from the Kenya Space Agency have confirmed that the metal object that landed in a rural village in Makueni County is in fact a foreign object.
When a strange metal object fell from the sky, witnesses said it hovered for a while, then landed with a loud bang. At first, it was glowing red hot, but it cooled into a gray metallic color. Police and officials from the Kenya Space Agency arrived quickly and confirmed it was a foreign object, possibly from a satellite or spacecraft. The exact origin is still under investigation. Locals remain puzzled, wondering if something more than just space junk had paid them a visit. Alien in Miami.
It involves talk of alien sightings at Bayside Marketplace. On New Year's Day, there was a massive police response in downtown Miami.
Captured last year in Miami's Bayside Marketplace, the footage shows how the roads became a scene of total chaos. People were seen running and coming out of the mall as a rumor spread that a giant alien had been spotted. Not only was it a rumor, but a video instantly circulated the internet. It showed a smoky figure flying midair and several patrol cars surrounding it. However, there's a flip side to this coin. A disappointing, but the security officials dismissed the footage, saying it was nothing like the video showed, and the flood of cars was a result of several calls made to the department. But the spectators could not forget the evidence and believed something strange happened that night. UFO shot down by jets. A mysterious object appeared in the skies over Alaska, floating without any visible engines or wings. It was silver and cylindrical, moving in a way that puzzled military officials. Detected by radar on February 9th, fighter jets were sent to investigate, but pilots found no signs of a crew or any clear way for it to stay airborne. After tracking it for a day, the U.S. decided to take action. On February 10th, an F-22 Raptor fired an AIM-9X Sidewinder missile, bringing it down over the icy Beaufort Sea. Recovery teams were sent, but harsh weather made the search impossible. With no wreckage ever found, the object's true origin and purpose remain a mystery, sparking endless speculation. CERN in action. While CERN was in the news for its discovery of ghost particles and discussions on how to identify them, another strange event took place. A mysterious portal appeared midair near the CERN laboratory, shocking those who witnessed it. Soon after the portal emerged, the weather changed drastically, raising speculation among locals. Many believe that CERN's continuous research and experiments were responsible for opening the portal. The sudden shift in weather only strengthened their suspicions. Although Though scientists attempted to keep the matter quiet, one man managed to capture undeniable proof. His footage spread quickly, leaving everyone in shock. To this day, the truth behind the portal remains unknown, but its appearance continues to raise questions about the experiments conducted at CERN. Tower of Lights. Dozens of people gathered in China. Something strange lit up the sky, and no one could explain it. In Shenyang, a glowing tower of light suddenly appeared in the sky. Locals rushed to capture the bizarre sight with their phones. The light looked like it was coming down from the clouds, almost as if something was arriving, not leaving. Some believe it was just sunlight bouncing off a skyscraper. Others, they swear it felt like a UFO was beaming something or someone up. Even now, no one knows what really happened that day above the K11 building. 1967 UFO encounter.
The object was likened unto a cross, although the inner parts were something similar to the points of a compass, and they were quite blurred, the inner part of the cross.
But it was brilliant white, brilliant light.
While patrolling a rural road near Oakhampton, two officers, PC Roger Willey and PC Clifford Waycott, spotted a strange object hovering just above the treetops. It was shaped like a glowing white cross with compass-like points, brilliant and silent. They tried chasing it in their patrol car, speeding fast, but the object accelerated away with no sound. It stayed ahead of them the whole time, as if it was observing their every move. Both officers were certain it wasn't a dream or trick of the light. Something real was there, either controlled by a being or remotely operated. And whatever it was, it knew they were watching, and it was watching them back. Sighting in England.
They're like flipping round. Oh my God.
A quiet moment turned strange when a group of friends spotted 5 odd objects hovering in the sky. They weren't birds, drones, or lanterns, floated silently, flipping in midair. As they slowly moved closer, the friends realized these weren't ordinary flying things. The way they hovered, almost like they were watching, gave off an uneasy feeling. Even filming them didn't make things clearer. Whatever they were, their perfect formation and hollow shapes left behind more questions than answers.
Oh, it's so annoying. I'm going to try and zoom in even more.
Abducted by aliens.
It's been a debate for decades. Are aliens out there, and have they ever made contact with us? After 45 years of keeping it a secret from his own family, a Gulf Coast man's declining health has given him a reason to write a book and leave his legacy.
In 1973, Calvin Parker and his friend Charles Hickson had an unsettling encounter while fishing near Pascagoula, Mississippi. A bright blue light suddenly enveloped them, lifting them into a mysterious craft. Calvin described seeing strange humanoid beings with robotic features. The beings conducted a bizarre examination on them, leaving both men terrified and confused. Despite the traumatic event, they kept the encounter a secret for 45 years. Calvin, now in poor health, has decided to share his story, revealing the chilling experience that has haunted him for decades. Who knows? Maybe those beings just wanted to check if humans were worth abducting, but they sure left a lasting impression.
Came out of the ceiling and it hovered about a foot in front of my eyes, and then it went to the right side of my head and it clicked, went behind my head and it clicked, went to the left side of my head and clicked, and then straight to the front, and then it shot back up in the ceiling. And that's when I noticed some kind of little ruffling noise, and this more feminine looking creature came out. She looked completely different than the what I call the robot, because he moved like a robot, just mechanical wise.
Alien on beach. In 2023, something strange fell from the sky near a Miami beach, grabbing the attention of locals. The next day, a surprising presence of individuals who appeared to be special agents or from a government agency was seen on the beach. They were desperately trying to cover up and move something. What they were hiding was shocking. A body, believed to be that of an alien, was secretly being handled. The local authorities wouldn't allow anyone near, and soon after, the scene was cleared. Since that day, there's been no word on what happened next, leaving many to wonder just how far the cover-up truly went. Russian Roswell crashed.
High-ranking officers of the Russian armed forces really believed they could gain a military advantage from UFOs.
Back in the late 90s, a UFO reportedly crashed in Roswell, Russia, and an unknown agency rushed to the scene. What they found was unbelievable: the badly decomposed body of an alien lying near the wreckage. Scientists were called in for observation, and the body was quietly taken away. The entire incident was meant to be kept a tight secret, but somehow the details got leaked. Whispers about this strange event still circle the internet, but no official explanation has ever been given. And if you're wondering what happened to that alien body, well, let's just say it didn't end up in a museum.
An indication that they had recovered something near Sverdlovsk, and that they were keeping it very secret.
Landing in Area 51. An unknown source shared a video that has left viewers puzzled. In the clip, a UFO can clearly be seen landing inside Area 51, while authorities act like it's just another day. The UFO looked unusually massive and had a strange shape, nothing like a regular aircraft. People started sharing their own theories. Some believe the government has always been in secret contact with aliens. Others think Area 51 was never about testing planes. It was a hidden hub for beings from another world. Whatever the truth may be, one question still haunts everyone. Was this just a leak or a warning of what's coming next? Admitting the proof.
When people say, how come there are no pictures? Well, here's quite an extensive video officially taken by the U.S. government of yet another UAP.
In 2015, Navy pilots had bizarre encounters with UFOs that defied logic. These objects had no wings, no cockpit, and no exhaust, yet they moved with incredible agility, almost like they were powered by some unknown force. The pilots couldn't explain how these UFOs performed maneuvers that seemed impossible for any aircraft known to humans. The incidents were kept under wraps for years, but in recent years, the government has started to break its silence. With increasing interest in UFO phenomena, these encounters raise more questions than answers about what's really out there. Something tells me the truth might be stranger than fiction.
The first time I saw the video, I'm watching it and you see this little dot moving along. And then, to me, you see the object go into the water. And I can hardly see a splash. I mean, how did it do that?
UFO over pyramid. A tourist was exploring different pyramids in Giza, enjoying the history and views. But then something very strange happened. Out of nowhere, a UFO appeared right above one of the pyramids. The tourist was shocked, staring at it. This UFO didn't look like anything normal. Its shape was unusual, and no one could tell what it was doing there. Was it watching? Was it searching for something? No one had any answers. But it made one thing feel possible. Maybe the connection between aliens and these pyramids isn't new. Maybe it's hundreds of years old, and this visit was just a reminder. UFO transportation. Last year in Lancaster, California, something strange happened in the middle of the night. A man noticed that the road near his area had suddenly been blocked by high-profile authorities. He had no idea what was going on. Then a big truck arrived, and what he saw on it completely shocked him. On the back of that truck was something that looked like a huge UFO. Its lights were blinking, and it was being moved secretly. No one explained anything. The man stood there confused and scared. What is the government hiding? No one knows, but aliens and other beings are clearly here. Moon mystery.
Are we looking at something huge orbiting the moon, like a fleet of UFOs or a cluster of asteroids? Or are we taking the wrong perspective?
In May 2019, a photographer in Moscow tried capturing the full moon, but caught something else. Several dark circular objects moved across the moon in a perfect formation. No sound, no trail, just silent motion. Experts confirmed the footage was real. If these objects were near the moon, they would be over 2 miles wide, larger than anything ever built. Some suggested birds or satellites, but the way these shapes moved, changing speed and distance, didn't match either. So, were they unknown crafts? Or proof that someone has already been watching the moon long before us? To this day, no one knows what those objects really were. But one thing is sure, something strange was flying up there.
So who or what is capable of building so many superstructures and putting them into lunar orbit?
Florida portal. One night in Florida, some locals noticed something strange in the sky. Bright lights were coming out of the clouds, and it didn't look normal at all. It felt like a portal was opening up right there in the sky. Everyone just stood still, staring at it, trying to understand what was going on. After a few seconds, the portal-like glow closed slowly. But right after that, a strange glowing object appeared. It moved slowly across the sky, almost like it was searching for something. Then, it quietly disappeared into the night. The locals believe that something entered our world that night, and it wasn't from here. Cloud mystery. In a small town in Peru, a man was enjoying a bright and sunny Sunday when something strange caught his eye. A strange-looking cloud appeared in the sky. It didn't look normal at all. The shape was odd, and the center seemed darker, like something was hiding inside. The man stared at it, feeling like he was being watched. He had never seen a cloud like that before. Some might say it was just weather, but he believed it was more. Maybe a UFO, or something else not from this world. Before he could understand it, the cloud disappeared without a trace. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. One night in New Jersey, a local heard a strange voice in the middle of the night. Curious and uneasy, they stepped outside their home and looked up. A colorful, glowing object hovered above the sky. Terrified, they wondered if it could be a UFO. The local tried to shoot it down, but before the object moved away into the distance, it didn't stop, just kept getting farther. Whatever it was clear. The unknown is coming sooner than we thought.